I just wanted to make what you could call like a little video update on my Mosin nagant rifle collection. I know I've told a few friends and subscribers that I'd be acquiring some more rifles and making some more videos and doing some different things and getting more into the discussion, as you'd say, online discussion about these guns, which I rather enjoy. Basically, like most of the nagants, they were never really a real desirable or collectible weapon. I owned a Chinese type, I think it's type 56 or whatever the Chinese nomenclature for the 1944 carbine was. I had one of those years ago, like in mint condition. They were dirt cheap. They brought them into the country in the 80s by the truckload. And I had a finish M39, I believe, or M38, whatever that one model is there. They also brought a bunch of those in back then. And the finished rifle was very accurate, very well made. It was a nicer gun than these Soviet models. And of course it was redesigned. It was more or less an updated version of this 1891 design that most of these rifles are. And they really weren't at the time worth a lot of money. I shot them, shot them a lot, and I got tired of them and just sold them and moved on. Now, with the recent importation of these reworked Soviet guns hitting the market dirt cheap, it's kind of like a phenomenon or a fad or something. I go to gun shows and a dealer will break open a case of 20 guns and they'll be gone for halfway through the show. They usually sell with all the accessories for about $100. Prices can vary, going up. The hex receivers now are going for about $135 when you find them. There was a gun show where the guy had a case, they were all hex receivers. And that's what he was selling for about $130. And most people put on the round receivers, the wartime production guns from the 40s. They're a little different, and they usually were selling for about $100 with all the accessories, and that's the gun people are interested in. And the strange thing is, people are buying these guns that really don't collect guns or shoot or anything. It's just like a curiosity or something for some people, I guess. But they are selling out, and they're very popular. So what I wanted to do is gather a bunch of different types of these rifles, like the round receivers, hex, older, newer, different grades and condition, and just shoot them, test them out, and eventually work on reloading ammunition like I do with all the other different guns, and see what kind of accuracy I could get out of these guns, even wartime production ones, which like Scott the gun geek there, he kind of likes the hex and the well-made ones. He has some finished ones. He has a lot of nice videos. He kind of has some of the war production ones, but also they're the ones most common. Those are the ones most people have, most people are buying. So I wanted to work a little more. I have several hex receivers myself, which are nice, but I wanted to work a little bit more with those round receiver mass production guns to see how they work. But as I told everyone, I've made a few acquisitions, and I was at a gun show, and actually one very interesting gun I found is I found another M91, an old one. And this here is from, I don't think I'm pronouncing it right, Sestrovsk Arsenal or something. It was made in 1898. And this one was reworked, much like my Westinghouse, by the Finns. This one does have an SA stamped on it. Has the sights recalibrated. Still has Imperial Russian markings and some other interesting markings on there. I'll go over this rifle by itself. I also, the other day, was going through a gun shop and found an interesting Tula arsenal nagant with a 1928 or 26 barrel date with the way the markings was. I didn't have one like this, so this one was in real nice shape, so I picked that up. So now I got like 3 or 4 hex receiver rifles. I did go to a gun shop. He's had the last one. I got a nagant 42 round receiver. You can see, I don't know if you can see it, stock's a little, the varnish is all scraped off. I got the last one the guy had. And the bore doesn't look too bad, but this is my 1 round receiver. I'm going to try to get a few more of the round receivers if I can get them at a reasonable price, and that way have them to, basically what I'm going to do is slug the bores, get all the bore measurements, see how much of a variance I got. Then I'm going to do a video on the surplus ammunition, because most people buy these surplus ammunitions cheap, and so like reloading, very few people I think right at the moment will be interested in reloading until the surplus ammo runs dry, which may be years. But I'm going to do a video where I go over and look, disassemble, look at the components, mic up the bullets, and see what surplus ammunition is available and what it looks like, and using that as a basis, try to develop some hand loads. And actually with the hand loads, I'd like to make a cast bullet plinking round for like the little 44 carbine, something a little less recoil, people could shoot more often, or even low cost, just plinking ammo for these rifles. If you're into bullet casting, cast your own bullets in that, you can dramatically reduce the price of reloadable ammo. But it's kind of a tricky thing with surplus ammo being as cheap as it is and as available as it is. A lot of people don't want to go through the hassle of making their own, but there are some people like me. I like to kind of take a gun and see how much accuracy I can tweak out of it. And that's kind of like what I'm going to do with some of these war production guns, the more common ones people have, is I want to see if through reloading and developing your own custom reload, if you could kind of tune in the accuracy on one of these guns. And, which I found that if you work at it a bit, you can. Also, another thing I have, this is the second model 91 rifle that I acquired. I had a video on the Westinghouse, which was also redone by the Finns. But one thing I did get, and I'd like to thank a YouTuber, Telerosis, or Telehosaurus, I think is his name. I can't pronounce it, but he has some videos. He has some nagant videos and some muzzle loading videos, and he told me about a guy that was selling a Type 91 style bayonet, which is a little bit more different than the Type 9130 bayonets that come with these guns. They're actually pretty hard to find, and they came into the country, some of them, and there's a little bit of a difference and a little bit of a difference in the price. This here is a Type 91 bayonet. As you can see from the Type 9130, it's a bit different. This is more simpler. It goes over the sight, slips over, and then this lock ring rotates to keep it locked in place when the gun fires. Okay, this will fit on a Model 91 only. It won't fit on the new ones because that big ring around the sight won't slip up underneath this. Very unusual bayonet. They were rare. Some were imported recently, and they go in a price anywhere from $65 to where I've seen these go for $150 a piece. Where this type bayonet, which usually comes with your gun with a little spring-loaded lock, goes for like $10 to $12. So I have the proper bayonet for the Model 91 rifles. So we're going to do some work with them eventually with the bayonet, the right bayonet on. And this bayonet, the one that comes with most of the 9130s, this will fit on a 91. So if you do end up with one of these 91s, They're another interesting thing. A lot of them are finished reworks. I've been seeing them online and at gun shows. I don't know where they came from. Somebody must have brought a batch of them in. I don't know if it was recently or what, but they do pop up kind of often. I found 2 of them, and then I found several other versions that have the finish barrels with different markings, subcontractors on there. They're kind of an interesting thing. So I'm going to do a video on that, a better video on the bayonets, take a look at it. And also, while we're on the topic, most people, if you're not really into gun collecting, a lot of people buy these guns. One guy told me he wants one of these guns just to hang on the wall, look at it. Piece of history. He really doesn't even know if he wants to shoot it. Some people are mildly interested in gun collecting, and that's why I think the popularity of this is at $100, $120. With the economy the way it is and everyone's short of cash, you know, it's not a lot of money. If you're interested in firearms or history or military gun collecting, it's affordable, and you know, people easily had the money to do it. That's why the popularity of this gun. But if you want to get into collecting and some detailed information, I'll give you a good book you can read, and it's helped me a lot. You go to Amazon.com, and that's the book right there. The Mosin nagant rifle. It's 5th edition revised. This here is a collector's guide. Very good book. You go on Amazon, they go for around 19 bucks with the shipping. It's still under $25. It's got a lot of information, does the history of the gun. It does an awful lot on the finish rifles. There's a ton of information on the finish modification in the guns. And you go through here, it lists them like historically, has some photographs, it'll give you diagrams, the parts, okay, real detailed information about the gun, how it works, how it was designed. And in the back, there's sections on ammunition, there's sections on accessories, oil bottles, production estimates and records. The one thing, bayonets and all the different bayonet prototypes and designs. And there's also a section that gives you all the different receiver markings and explains what arsenal and what foreign use and modification. It's well worth the money. If you really want to get into it, very good book. A lot of information, helps explain a lot of the markings and stuff on it, which I didn't know. You know, I was never an expert on this rifle. But this book helps out a lot. If you want to get into collecting these and be knowledgeable, I highly recommend it for, you know, 25 bucks. Can't beat it. Source of information. There are some online sources, but I'm old-fashioned. I like the book. And there's some more information on there, more detailed information than you'll find on the websites. So that's about it. So all I can say is I'm going to be working next... I'm going to acquire some more rifles, hopefully in a week or so. And then I'll start doing some videos. I'll take a closer look at this 91 and all the different guns I got. I'll do a video explaining the bayonet. We'll take a close look at that and get it on the gun. I'll show you how it works on the gun. I don't want to make this too long. But that's about it. And, you know, stay tuned, and I'll try to get out as I go along. Or little interesting projects I get done or information, I'll try to get out there.